Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Real Firm podcast. It's been quite the minute, maybe for 3, 4 months. I'm not sure. Uh, just been fighting off the demons in my head, and you know, I won't talk too much about myself. I want to just kind of just smooth right back into what I was doing before, because I'm not famous or really have a following, but I liked what I was doing before, and I need to take a little break. So maybe I'll talk some more about myself towards the end if anyone's interested in that. Otherwise, we'll get into some of the popular, some of the big articles of the day. I figure, what the hell was that? Okay, so I am, if you're watching this, I am in my car this time, but in the front seat this time. I've outfitted the control center in the front. It's very it's much better than having it in the back seat or doing it in my closet room situation. I don't know what that's kind of someone threw an acorn. Oh, you know what? I am in the park. I'm parked in a park and a bunch of oak trees above me, so probably an acorn fell on the. I don't know even know if you heard it, but it doesn't matter. So yeah, we're gonna roll into it. We're gonna talk about the TikTok, and I got some other fun articles. Of course, Florida Man of the Week. We gotta do that. Um, yeah, I hope if you watched before, hope you didn't miss, or hope you did miss. I don't know how. Whatever. I'm gonna yeah. Let's get into it. I'm probably there won't be any like smooth. No, I mean nothing's really smooth about what I do here. But I want to make a new intro song or whatever. I'm not gonna use the same one. I feel like that's what I was talking about. Yeah, it's a new year, and I feel like I need to get out of this depression. I need to start doing what I was doing before I lost my mind. But I'm trying to find it again, and hoping this will help. So yeah, nothing really different about the podcast here, other than I'm in the front seat of my car and not in my closet or the back seat of the car, and the hopefully much better place for guests to sit in the front seat. Aside from that one time when we did it in the backseat with Rockstar Life on Word Three Eyes, we'll have to figure out where the cameras. Anyway, let's get into the. A lot of wild shit is happening, so I feel like if I'm gonna, it's better to start back up sooner rather than later, because crazier shit's just gonna keep happening as the days go on. Quite frankly, I assume. You got the big sad news of the pressing moment, the LA, the California wildfires, all that. That's devastating and upsetting. So shout out to them for being the unfortunate victims of that. I guess shout out isn't really pray outs to the Californians and the the Angelinos. I think that's what they're called. The drone sightings. I'm a big alien UFO enthusiast. Not that that's a topic for another. I'm not going to get into that, but that's just another thing that happened since I haven't been on here in a while. And of course, you got Donnie T winning the election and getting into office very soon. So I have a feeling lots of crazy shit's going to be happening, and I'm going to want to talk about it. So we're here. We're queer. It's a new year. But obviously the big thing of the day is this looming TikTok ban. Now, if you've watched prior episodes, probably last year, I don't know when it was, but I did an episode with Rockstar Life on Word Three Eyes, who when we were talking about TikTok and how much I hate it, how much I not hated it, like I think it should go away, like it seems like it's about to, but like I just couldn't wrap my mind around enjoying it. Too OCD. I think that was the catchphrase. Too autistic. I don't. It's just too much stimulation. Too much quick switching. I gotta. I'm the opposite of whatever that is. But it does seem so that they did that ban thing. They kind of teased it. I mean, they put the law into effect, but now the date's finally coming up, and no one's stopping it. It would seem. So I'm going to read this. Start reading through this article here from CNN. TikTok will be banned without a savior. Here are the alternative apps. So what I'm really want to talk about is the wild culture of the TikTokians. Just going nuts right now. And I witnessed one in person in this friend group I was with the other night, who was like talking about it like a crack fiend. It was wild. But anyway, let me start reading this here. TikTok is still 3 days away from a likely ban in the United States, but many users are already bidding the app farewell and seeking out alternatives. Influencer Jasmine Chiswell posted a video Tuesday showing her frowning over text that reads, quote, "Me saying goodbye to 18 million best friends because TikTok is getting banned." So, I assume that's an exaggeration. Obviously, you're not considering 18 million people your best friends. Influencer, so she must have 18 million followers or something, or average viewers. I don't know. That is pretty wild, though. It does seem like that's how they view. I mean, they're best friends. I mean, these people live on this app, and like I said, it's hard for me to get a perspective of a user. I wish I knew someone that was a TikTok fiend, like that I could call up and be like, "Hey, can you talk with me about this so I can pick your brain about how you feel about this, because this is insane." Anyway, but I guess I'm from the other perspective. I don't know how. Yeah, let's continue here. The fear of a ban amped up following a report late Tuesday from the information that TikTok will shut itself down entirely for U.S. users come Sunday if it doesn't win its challenge to the Supreme Court or find an American owner. Blah, blah, blah. Many people expected U.S. app stores to remove TikTok, but the existing users could continue accessing the app, and then they say it's gonna it won't work after a while, or you can't log in from a U.S. IP address. Still, there's no shortage of TikTok copycats TikTok copycat apps eager to welcome those users, now calling themselves TikTok refugees, onto their platforms. But the apps surging in popularity this week aren't the obvious TikTok rivals like Reels, Shorts, Snapchat, Spotlight, or X. Instead, a few slate of newer apps have surged on app stores this week, including Red Note, also known as Shuaohongshu, Lemon 8, Clapper, Flip, and Fanbase. This is where it particularly gets very interesting to me. The competition to become the new home for TikTok users is a reminder that even after years-long efforts by mainstream big tech platforms to replicate the short-form video app's popular features, users still feel there's no true TikTok replacement. But before I make further comments, let me read this quote here. "A just government for the people, by the people, does not force its people to use Instagram Reels," creator Mike Gottschalk said in a TikTok video. I almost said YouTube video, but it says TikTok. "Instagram is stealing my data in the exact same way TikTok is, probably. We can all pretend that there's going to be a new app that rides in as a knight in shining armor and replaces TikTok, but I think we all know that it's just going to be Reels, and that is how empires crumble." There's this fascinating... So I don't understand why everyone hates Instagram Reels and YouTube Shorts so much as opposed to TikTok. Now, the article I read the article already, and we'll come upon some information, some phrases, sentences, paragraph, whatever, that shed light onto the further of why that is. I mean, obviously, it's a different... it's been exploding in popularity over the past several years for a reason, as opposed to Reels and Shorts. And they're the original infinite scroll short video, pop-up that became famous, or were popularly widely used. So, yeah, I mean, it's the OG, but they've crafted some kind of crack fiend product that nobody else wants. It's like, I don't want to get into like some wild drug analogy, but there's like these alternatives, and these TikTok users are like, I tried it, it's not the same. All right, let me keep reading. Jesus Christ. The alternatives topping the charts on Apple's and Google's app stores this week. Red Note, or Shuangshu, a China-based app reminiscent of Instagram. So it's wild that people are, the TikTokians, as I'm calling them, I guess, are gung-ho on using Chinese applications. One, to, I guess, well, because they made TikTok, so they're assuming, oh, they know how to make the algorithms that feed me all the stuff I want to see. And obviously the American companies have not succeeded, so we're going to keep seeking out Chinese apps. And then two, there's a sentiment of doing it in spite of the law that's banning TikTok, or that's keeping TikTok from being however the hell the law works, however it's stated. It has to be sold. It has to be banned from the app stores unless it's sold to an American company. That's another interesting thing that I'll tap on as well. The potentials for that. Yeah. So this is another thing that I heard this girl talking about, who was in person, who was like going off about how she was like, she loved the fact that this was happening. She was like so excited about this movement of people that are going on these other Chinese apps. And she was reading like memes, I guess. I don't think people are really doing this, but she was saying things like, people were saying, I'll give them my social security number and driver's license and all my information for free. Stuff. I don't remember exactly what it was, but it was that kind of sentiment of fuck you, U.S. government, for taking TikTok away. Because of that, I'm going to give my data to China for free because I love them so much for making TikTok, and I love TikTok so much, etc., etc. So they're flocking to these other Chinese apps, and they literally are they're learning Mandarin in an attempt to use the app because it's all Chinese, apparently. Let me continue. Many of the American users who joined the app this week suggested they were doing so out of spite for the U.S. government, which banned TikTok over national security concerns related to its China-based parent company. Take away their TikTok, they said, and they just join another Chinese app. Quote, I surrender all my data to China. Here you go, China. In exchange for keeping my TikTok, you can have all my information. A TikTok user who goes by at Thicky with a Q. Doesn't matter. But the influx of new users to Red Note, which was previously confined mainly to the Chinese-speaking world, has also led to some funny moments of cultural exchange in recent days, with users offering up Mandarin lessons, sharing information about Chinese and English internet slang. They're learning Chinese slang. And calling for the app to implement automatic subtitles in both languages. Language learning app Duolingo said Wednesday it has seen a 216% spike in new Mandarin users compared to this time last year, potentially owing to the Americans joining Red Note. Definitely owing to that, which features lots of content in Mandarin. Learning Mandarin out of spite, you're not alone, Duolingo said in a post on X. So everyone's just hot. This is a cultural phenomenon of Chinese, what's the word? Chinese affection. That's not what I'm looking for, but you know what I mean. The company first, then it goes on. Lemonade, a Pinterest-like app from TikTok, has gained newfound popularity. The company first began pushing the app to American users in early 2023. I remember seeing it pop up. When TikTok CEO Xiao Chu was hauled before Congress to testify about the app's data protection practices. But both of these platforms could ultimately be subject to a law that prohibits apps controlled by U.S. foreign adversary, the same law that sets to ban TikTok. So what would be even more hilarious is if TikTok does finally get taken away and nobody saves it, and then everyone goes to Huangshu, Red Note, Lemonade, whatever, and then they're like, oh, actually, we got to take those off too because of the same law. and then everyone gets real upset. I feel like the Chinese are getting exactly what they want here. They've executed their master plan quite nicely. Bravo, China, bravo. I'm a neutral party here. I don't really use TikTok. I've tried doing some things on it as a creator, but never really experienced the overnight viral potential that many others have, unfortunately. Maybe for the best. So yeah, I genuinely don't. I mean, if it gets banned, that I kind of wouldn't mind not hearing about it anymore. But I think we'd be hearing about it even more for the same reason that this is happening. But something, I don't know, like somebody's got to. I can't. I really thought somebody was going to buy it, or they were going to This is actually wild that this is happening. I feel like I thought Donald Trump, I mean, they said it goes into effect the 19th, but Donnie T doesn't go in until the 20th. So can he save it after the fact? I don't know. What's interesting is he previously was against the China probable data mining of US citizens for adversarial usage. Before, I think he proclaimed that when he was president. Before, I'm not sure. I'm pretty sure I heard that. And then, but now I think when he was getting reelected and shit, I think I'm pretty sure he's on the side of trying to get it back because, one, he's a populist and he loves everyone to love him. And with the 100, I forget the number. It was like half the country's population of U.S. users that use TikTok. So he loves that, and he wanted to get more votes. I don't know if he said it while he was still getting elected, but that, and he's a businessman, and all these small businesses that have seen amazing growth from ads on TikTok and TikTok Shop and all that. It's great for the economy in that way, so he's going to be for it. So I get that. I don't know. Is it worth the Chinese spying? Which is, we don't really know is happening. They definitely are collecting the data, but that's how their algorithm's so good. Whatever. Anyway, or maybe Elon Musk. I mean, whoever buys it, it's going to make a balls ton of money, right? I think. I don't know. Also, how is nobody cloned the TikTok algorithm? Nobody can figure this out. I'd like for somebody to explain that to me, but I'm not a computer scientist. It just seems strange that you wouldn't, at this point, after it being out for so many years, not figure out how to at least make a similar algorithm that, I don't know. It seems like a lot of mysteries there that I'm ignorant to, and I haven't done the in-depth research, mainly because I want to cover some other articles, and this is not all about TikTok. And bear with me. This is my first episode back in several months. I still have to train my breath for solo talking. I'm already out of breath because I'm probably dying or something. I don't know. Vaping, although my lungs are fine. Everything's fine. Don't worry about it. Let's keep reading the app, and then let's keep reading the article, and then I'm going to go to the other articles and wrap it up. I don't want this to go too long. What are we at here? Almost 20 minutes. Yikes. I really need a co-host to sit in this car with me. All right. There was another part of this article I was very interested in. Other nine Chinese alternatives. Flip gained 1.4 million users in the past week. Insane. Audiences that live on TikTok, they're not going to one single destination. I think they're going to many different ones, depending on where the communities are and what type of content they make. Instagram and YouTube in the backseat. To be sure, mainstream platforms like Instagram and YouTube still almost certainly stand to benefit if TikTok goes away, despite the newfound competition. Big tech companies have in recent years reoriented their businesses to better compete with TikTok, causing a broader shift in the social media ecosystem away from friend-based feeds to prioritizing entertainment and new content that keeps people scrolling longer. That's the part that I never liked. The feature that makes it so popular is the part that I couldn't stand. I don't know why I'm such a strange individual. You know, woe is me. I like to deep dive into one thing at a time for an extended period of time. I'm still wasting just as much time. And, it's nothing better about either one, I guess, depending on how you look at it. But downloads of Snapchat and YouTube fell this week compared to the week prior, according to market intelligence firm. I looked at the microphone instead of the camera. To market intelligence firm Sensor Tower, and while Instagram downloads were up 2% week on week, the number of daily active users was essentially the same. Blah blah blah. All right, lots of same kind of things. This last part I want to touch on here. The frustrations range from many users say those apps are still missing the magic of TikTok. The frustrations range from small annoyances. For example, unlike on TikTok, you can't pause an Instagram Reels video unless you hold your... That is dumb. I don't know why they don't have a more intuitive pause feature on Reels on Instagram. To more esoteric issues like community. I think more than the algorithm, I think that's really it's the esoteric issues that TikTok captivated. That's kind of impossible to recreate in a short period of time, and match it with the same algorithm that gives people their dope hits of content that they exactly didn't even know they liked but needed, or didn't even know they needed but got, however you want to say it. On TikTok, users say they can be more creative and less polished, and they'll be rewarded for that in the comments, whereas Instagram often has more negativity. Now that I'm a fan of. So that's cool. I like that. And because each of the platforms favors slightly different content, success as an influencer on TikTok doesn't guarantee success in the other apps. Molinaro told CNN that on TikTok, I get to be a little bit freer, more myself. I get to kind of take the curation away from it, and I just get to talk freely with my followers and have fun with them. TikTok favors realism. I feel like the other platforms are almost a little bit more vain, whereas TikTok is all about showing up and being your authentic self, and a lot of people can resonate with that. Creator Stormy Steele told CNN, I really fucked up. I should have not shit and hated on TikTok when it was first blowing up, and I should have just... Trust me, I tried. But I gave up too fast, I guess, and I didn't get enough traction that was satisfying, and I didn't like the environment, and because I wasn't a consumer of it, I didn't know the trends, and I didn't want to research them. I just wanted to do what this person was saying, be my authentic self, and have fun, talk freely with my followers, but I never got any. Well, I did, but I don't know. I was so disconnected from it. I was just trying to get extra engagement to drive people to YouTube and whatever. But much like Molinaro was saying, YouTube's too polished. I try to be polished, but I'm not as polished as the other polished people. Sometimes, real firm is really loose a lot of the time, and that's maybe I was meant for TikTok, and I scorned it, so this is what I get. This is what I get. This is what you get. If only I had tried TikTok before. Too late now. Hey, if it gets reinstated, I'll really I will do like a 30-day try to get an engaged following on TikTok challenge or something. We'll see what happens. Anyway, finally, ultimately, it's a TikTok algorithm that sets the app apart, feeding users videos based on sometimes scarily accurate predictions of what they'll find entertaining, whether they follow those creators or not. Any alternative will have to replicate that algorithm in order to become a real TikTok replacement. The algorithm that TikTok has created and refined is unmatched, and even YouTube Shorts and Instagram Reels and whatnot. Those algorithms feel antiquated compared to TikTok. It was novel, the idea that anybody can go viral and you can shoot your shot and you can go from 0 to millions overnight. You still don't get that anywhere else. Well, once again, I never got that. I was waiting for it, but it never happened. Further reinforcing the negative self-belief that I'm not meant for it to be doing any of this, but here I am trying again on this podcast. Anyway, that's that. In a couple days, we'll see. Maybe by the time I'm recording this on a Thursday, I'm probably going to put it out tomorrow, Friday. And maybe there'll be news by tomorrow, by the time this is out, that TikTok is saved. I don't know. We'll see. But that reminds me, in terms of schedule, I forgot my schedule of these episodes. It's been that long. But I think it was like Tuesdays, Wednesdays or something. Audio and video. Right now, I'm just going to do it on the Friday. Maybe it'll just be Friday since that's when I returned. I'll try to be back weekly, though. I'm going to try. I might go back into the darkness and the demons might overtake my mind and happiness. Because I'm still fighting with that, but we'll see. This will hopefully feel like it's giving me some purpose again, even though it wasn't really super popular at all to begin with, but you got to start somewhere. Now, just before we get to Florida Man of the Week, to end it off, this one, another article that I found while I was perusing the Google News that was very disturbing and interesting to me. I actually read the article about this before when it first happened, but I didn't. This is like a follow-up of the consequences of this Eagles fan getting fired from his consulting job after he ranted at a female Packers fan when they blew them out in the wild card round. I'm also a huge NFL fan again, so that's that. But that's neither here nor there, but it is why the story was served to me. So basically, I'm not going to read this whole thing, but the Packers, the Eagles are playing at home, Packers were playing them, they were getting trounced on, not that hard, but pretty much enough to where, of course, the home crowd is surrounding like an isolated island of a Packers fan couple, and this one dude starts just harassing her and calling her ugly for no reason because they were losing. I mean, the sports tribalism gets really disturbing. People get like possessed in these situations. I don't know what it is. I've never understood it. I do understand sports and I love rooting for teams, but this level is a whole nother level. Anyway, so yeah, he calls her like a fat. I won't say the word. I guess I hate censoring myself. Maybe I'll bleep it out, but I don't feel like going through and bleep. The C, he calls her the C word, which he shouldn't have done. I'm not saying that he should have said it and it should have been fine, but I was just censorship about quoting something does piss me off. But I have censored myself here unto thou hither. What's really wild about this is now this article, he's been fired from his job, which I kind of get, but the quote from the person who fired him is even more crazy. So obviously, yeah, they posted this video to social media, and then blah, blah, blah. The man was also connected to so before he was fired, he was banned from all future Eagles games, which as apparently an avid diehard fan of the Eagles, he's probably not very happy about. But he kind of deserves it for being this piece of shit he is, or he was in that moment. The man was also connected to the New Jersey consulting firm BCT Partners, which issued a statement late Tuesday revealing that they were the man's employers that I hate when there's typos, or I need to know if I'm reading it wrong or not. Tuesday revealing that they were the man's employers and he would no longer be working with the company. The language was vile. It was disgusting. It was unacceptable and horrific. I agree. BCT Partners founder Randall Pinkett told NBC News about the fan, who was later identified as Ryan Caldwell. Poor bastard. A business analyst with a specialty in information technology. It was diametrically opposed to the values that we espouse at BCT. We're a company that's founded on inclusion, on respect, on dignity, and on the behavior. And the behavior was just in complete contrary to everything that we stand for at this organization, Pinkett added. Caldwell cannot immediately be reached for comment. Pinkett said that while Caldwell was let go, the company told him that they had hoped he would be capable of moving on from the events of the game. This is where it gets wild. I was reading this, I'm like, damn, that sucks. I mean, I get why they fired him, but like, I'm sure he's not like that all the time. It was like, heated of the moment sports thing, really fucked up things that he said, but it's a dicey line. But here's what what guy continues to say, the boss, the owner of the company. It's not just that we have parted ways with Mr. Caldwell, but we were very clear in our statement that we extended grace and support to him that he could be better. What troubles me is his behavior, but what also troubles me is the cancel culture that we live in that doesn't afford people grace, that we don't have the opportunity to be better people and learn from our mistakes. The guy that's firing him is saying this in the same statement. In the same, I mean, it's so weird that he's like, oh, he's really, really disgraced, should have never said that, but I wish we didn't have this cancel culture. It's like, is he saying that he feels like he's pressured into having to fire him and wishes cancel culture wasn't like this? But you didn't have to fire him, and you didn't have to do it publicly either. So it's a little strange. I just thought that was bizarre, but I kind of feel bad for this guy. But if you call a woman ugly and see in front of her husband or whatever at a football game just because their team is losing and they're the away team, bro. If the Packers were beating the Eagles, I wonder what the situation. That might have gotten violent. Thankfully, the Eagles won, or it might have been even worse. Anyway, that's that. Just thought that was a fun thing. And before I'm starting to get hot, even though it's kind of cool outside, I turn off the. Is the one problem about doing this in the car is the noise from the AC/heat. I guess I didn't have to keep this jacket on. Either way, let's just go right on to this is getting long. Go right on to the Florida Man of the Week. Headline: Fired Disney World employee pleads guilty to hacking menu, removing life-saving allergy information. Cool guy. A former Disney World resort employee has pleaded guilty to hacking into one of the company's computer systems and removing life-saving allergy information from restaurant menus. It's really fucked up, but it is hilarious, objectively, that this man exists. I'll put it that way. Michael Scheurer was fired on June 3rd. So shout out to Michael Scheurer, June 13th, 2024, for his alleged misconduct. He worked as a menu production manager, and his termination was considered contentious and not considered to be amicable. Scheurer has pleaded guilty to knowingly transmitting a program information code and command and intentionally causing damage without authorization to a protected computer and aggravated identity theft. According to the January 10th, he looks like a cool guy. A very cool guy. In a statement to Fox News Digital, Scheurer's attorney is prepared to accept responsibility for his conduct. His attorney says, unfortunately, he has mental health issues that were exacerbated when Disney fired him upon his return from paternity leave. No one was ever at risk of injury, and he is deeply remorseful for what happened. So I guess it goes deeper than the whole taking the allergen information off of the menus, but caused $150,000 in damages. So I guess he was fired for whatever upon returning from paternity leave. So he just had a child. He just has a child, gets fired, and then I couldn't tell. It's kind of confusing event timeline here, but I guess he got fired, and then out of wow, I can't talk. In disgruntled fashion, he hacked the menus to remove or add manipulated the allergen information on menus by adding information to some allergen notifications that indicated certain menu items were safe for individuals with peanut allergies when in fact they could be deadly to those with peanut allergies. Great. Real cool move, Mr. Sure. Alrighty, that's that. That's all, Florida Man of the Week, short, sweet, to the point. Michael Scheuer, shout out to you. That was a really wild and ridiculous thing to do, but you'll no longer be working at Disney or many other places for that matter. And also to that poor Eagles fan. Well, I shouldn't really call him a poor Eagles fan. He's really made an asshole move, and I don't know. I just feel like he shouldn't have been publicly fired for it, because now I feel like he's never going to get a job. Oh, yeah, you were the guy that got fired from your job for calling a poor lady an old or an ugly C word for no reason other than their team was losing at your home stadium as a fan of the Eagles. So, yeah, that's I don't know exactly how to feel about that. But that's that. This has been the Real Firm Podcast. Thank you for tuning in. It's good to be back. I like I said, I'll try to keep doing this. I don't know how this. I mean, I feel like it kind of looks weird, this camera angle. I don't know. Anyway, yeah, I've just been going crazy and trying to stop going crazy and put purpose. I've been taking walks, trying to work out instead of completely staying in the prison of my mind and escaping through other various mechanisms at the computer chair. So that's good. Oh yeah, I wrote a song. One of my favorite song I've written so far. It's only like the 5th song I've ever made. It's called Squirrel. Go check it out if you haven't. It's like an indie full rock. First time I mixed and produced a full band of song on my own. Usually they're like acoustic songs. So it's quite the challenge. I'm sure it could definitely be produced and mixed better, but I think it sounded pretty good. I spent a lot of time on it. Anyway, that's kind of what helped me get out of the funk. So go Squirrel by FERM. Check that out. And yeah, I'll be back next week, hopefully. Maybe with a guest. We'll see. But usually I used to say that all the time and it never happened. But we'll keep up the tradition. Maybe there'll be a guest next week. Peace and love. Have a good week. And we'll see what happens if TikTok is back. We'll buy the next one. And we'll touch on that and see what's happening. Or maybe the aliens will have taken over. Hopefully that happens first. We'll see.